So what if I told you that one small overlooked repair could cost you thousands, or worse, a lost buyer, after you're already under contract? That's the reality in today's real estate market, especially down here in Southwest Florida. Hi, I'm Jennifer Springer, broker and owner of Orchid Realty International. And whether you're listing a luxury estate or a beachside getaway, there's one smart move every seller should consider before hitting the market. And that's checking out 5 important things. So today, I've invited a trusted expert who's seen it all, Mike Rolewicz, owner of Professional Real Estate Inspections, to walk us through the 5 most important things sellers should check before they list. So Mike, thanks so much for joining us here today. As a real estate inspection professional, you have helped thousands of buyers and sellers across all of Southwest Florida. And today, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what are the go-to areas that a seller should focus on in their home before they actually put their home on the market.
That's a good question, Jen. So basically, the 5 things you can think about before putting your house on the market would be the roof, the AC system, the electrical system, plumbing system, and auxiliary systems. So auxiliary systems would be like your pool equipment, and generator systems if you have one for the whole house, and also your fire pits and fireplaces that may be outside or an outdoor kitchen.
Excellent, excellent. So today I thought we could go through each of those, and then we have a bonus tip at the very end.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
That's good. Yeah, we'll go into detail on
Okay, all right. Well, follow us along. All right, Mike, tell us a little bit about the roofing aspect and how a seller can get ahead of the game.
Yeah, so a lot of houses, especially in this community, have a tile roof. So tile roofs, the tile is cosmetic. But if you see a roof as a buyer and it has a lot of mildew on it, cosmetically it doesn't look good and it can appear in worse shape than it actually is.
Yeah, it's a bad way to start off.
Absolutely, yeah. So getting it clean would be number 1. Number 2, checking the tiles to make sure there's no cracked tiles, right? Get them sealed if there are cracked tiles, or get them replaced if they're broken. That can be a low cost and something that can be done easily. Third thing you can do is make sure all the ridge caps are tight and secure, okay?
Great.
So these things need to be done because insurance companies, if they see a roof with cracked tiles or loose tiles,
Oh, yeah.
they won't give them insurance,
I know.
okay? So get that done before you list your house.
Excellent, excellent information. So right now we're focused on one of the 5 that a seller really should focus on, and that is the air conditioning systems of the home. Here's the thing. Probably one of the number 1 questions we get when we are listing a home and we have a buyer coming in is how old is the AC unit? And having an older AC unit doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it, but there's some great tips that Mike has on how to maintain and prepare your air conditioning system before you go on the market.
Yeah, so basically what you want to do is have your air conditioning serviced just to show the paperwork that it's been checked and it's been maintained and all the numbers are good. One thing they may not do when they service your AC, and I see it a lot, I inspect a lot of houses, we've seen it together, they service it, sometimes they do not clean it. So when they open up the panels and they see mold-like substance inside, sometimes buyers get a little scared.
Yep.
And you can get ahead of the game by having your AC system serviced, but also make sure they have it cleaned, because some guys won't clean it. They'll service it, they won't clean it.
Yeah, and if you are able to collect and hold on somewhere to all those reports from the air conditioning company, like you're getting a biannual maintenance or quarterly, keep track of them, keep them somewhere, because that's a great way to show a buyer how well maintained the whole home and the entire air conditioning system has.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another easy thing you can do to show how well maintained your home is just change the filters. A lot of buyers will come in, the first thing they check to see if a house is well maintained is the air return filters. So make sure you change them and they're nice and clean.
Fantastic. All right, on to the next.
All right. One of the 5 systems you can have checked is your electrical system, making sure that your electrical panel has all the AFCI breakers that properly test and reset. And also, some of the brands and some of the DEETs are a recall. So you want to make sure that maybe your electrical panel is part of a recall, and if it is, you can have it inspected for free and have a clear bill of health for the electrical panel if it fits into that timeline. So for the plumbing aspect of the home, one easy thing you can do is check water pressure throughout the house. So at every fixture, you can make sure hot and cold pressure is satisfactory and make sure there's no buildup in the screens of the hardware around the home. And then also below the sinks, you can check for any type of corrosion
or any small leaks below at the supply valves.
All right, Mike, we're in front of a pool and a spa, and we're living in beautiful Southwest Florida. So tell me a little bit about what you would make a recommendation on for a pool.
Yeah, so the pool is very important, and a lot of things with the pool can be high dollar. So you want to make sure your pumps are functioning properly, make sure all your water features are working properly, make sure your lights are working properly, and make sure the pool heater is also a very high cost item. Make sure that's working properly. And make sure that all your control panels and all your features within the home are functioning properly, because these things can be a little more expensive to get repaired. And if you get ahead of the game, you can have it fixed before they find it and make sure it's done at a reasonable cost.
Exactly. I mean, that's the thing about all of these repairs, if there are any, is that the seller is in the driver's seat. They can actually negotiate and identify the right vendor or company, or probably their own pool company, to take care of these things ahead of time.
Absolutely. So if you get ahead of the game and you do it first before you get the buyers to do it, they're going to find 5 estimates, take the highest estimate, and try to negotiate when you could have done it at a lower cost.
So now we're sitting down because we're going to talk about something a little scary, and that is the M word and the R word, right?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people are worried about mold and radon, especially people from up north. They come down to Florida, they hear stories about mold, and they also are very familiar with radon. So those two things, you can get a test done for several $100s. It's not that expensive, but you can get the test done. We could send it to the laboratory, we'll get results, then you have a nice clean bill of health to present to a buyer who may want the test anyway.
Right.
But you're going to provide them with that before they get a hold of it. So in one case, if you have a high number and you need a remediation, maybe your ductwork needs clean, maybe AC needs clean, maybe, surfaces wiped down. If you can get it done with someone you know and trust at a certain price, you're going to prevent them getting a high price from a contractor that you might not be familiar with, that might be making a mountain out of a molehill.
That's such great information. And in fact, this has happened to us where we were with the seller and the buyer came in and did a mold report. And it came back elevated, and we were really confused because the home was so clean, so pristine. And it turns out that all that it was mold particles near an area where they had tested, but it was just more on like mildew, but it will come up on a report. So if you know that ahead of time, what great information to be able to get that clean, to know that you're going to have a clean bill of health as it relates to mold and or radon. And it just puts you in the driver's seat as a seller.
Absolutely.
For you, if you're thinking of selling and you want to take Mike's advice that we've presented today, or you can actually get a full-blown pre-listing, pre-sale inspection report, which is much more in-depth, you will be doing yourself and your real estate professional and the whole process an incredible favor of making sure that you are listing and then negotiating with complete clarity and confidence. So really appreciate your time today. So thanks for joining us as well. And if you are ready to get listed and you want to list with all of that great confidence behind you, please give us a call. We'd love to sit down and talk about our pre-listing strategy, which one of the things it does is including making sure that your home is ready to go and ready to shine on market. So let's get going and let's put our best home forward.